Hi everyone, welcome once again. It's Gina, and we are doing Journal Reflections number 16. So let's see what we have in our box today. Dun, 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 I'm not looking. Y'all can see more than I can. I'm so scared. Alright, so it says, wow, this is a confess. Are you reluctant to confess your faults? Have you found that when you confess your weaknesses to others that they were already aware of them? Is it time to confess? Oh, wow. This is such a heavy word. So let's see what we're going to do with this. And let me try and think while I look for a page. Oh, my gosh. These words, they're really heavy. Really heavy. Okay. All right. So I found my page. I think because of the heaviness of the word that I want to use a double page spread today. And I'm just checking over my questions to think about what I want to do. So I thought of using kite paper today. What do you call this? Other than kite paper, there's another name. Tissue paper. That's right. So I'm using tissue paper because I want to write the word and then I want to put it on. And then, you know, tissue paper has the effect where it's transparent. Honestly, halfway through this, I was thinking, what is the point of this, Gina? You could just write it on the page as is. There's no need for all the tracing paper, tra-la-la. But it is what it is. I guess I just wanted to stick something down. So I am doing this. And then when I was doing this part as well, I forgot again that this paper is very thin, so what I'm writing is actually printing out on the page. But it I kind of liked it because it kind of gave it a, you know, like a ghost image on your page after. So that was fine. But really and truly, I could have skipped this step and just write it on your page. I don't know. I really don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, such is life sometimes. So I'm just cutting it out, cutting all around it to take off the excess paper so that when I glue it down, I don't have much, you know, all that excess to glue. And then I'm just measuring it and then I'm going to stick it down. But before I do that, I am going to write my first question, which is, are you reluctant to confess your faults? Now, while I'm thinking about that question, I decided to stick this down. And what am I thinking about? I'm thinking, yes, I am reluctant to confess my faults, but to humans, not to God. Because God knows everything anyway. He knows us more than we know ourselves. So actually what I do is ask God to reveal my faults to me, because there are some things that are really deeply hidden inside our hearts, so deep that we don't know those things about ourselves. So I ask God to show me what is in my heart and then help me to fix it and get rid of it and deal with it. And Lord, you fix it. I actually ask him to fix it and get rid of it. And because, you know, we can't do anything of ourselves. It's only through God. So I got that stuck down and I pulled in these papers to see if I wanted to use them on the page. I love these ghost prints of the people, the men. So I'm trying my best to see if I could fit this on the page. The reason I'm using the men is because confession, for me, when I think of confession, I think of God. And I think about others around me, because we do confess to those around us, you know, and it depends on who it is. Sometimes it's a loved one. Sometimes it's a friend, you know, it could be family. It could be maybe even something you did on a job, or could be so many other circumstances. So it does involve people at the same time. So that's why I decided to use this it's a Gelli print that I did a while ago. I don't even remember when. So I decided to bring it in. And I used the light this light ghost one because I didn't want it to overpower the page as well. I don't even know at the end if you could really see it, but I can. And I know what it means to me. And then I brought in these letters. I think there are some numbers on it as well, because confession involves words, which obviously involves numbers and letters. Well, yeah, it depends on what your confession is, right? So I decided to bring that in as well for that reason, because what you confess, it's made up of words, and yeah, depending on the type of confession, obviously numbers. So that was that. And now I'm trying to decide, should I make this some type of pocket? Do I want to write behind it? Do I just want it to be stuck on a page as it is? And then I have these flowers that I had done some gelli printing with as well. And I wanted to brighten up the page because confession is good for the soul. And, you know, it's supposed to be a good thing. Yes, sometimes it causes pain, but it also releases you, and it should hopefully help the other person as well, other people involved. It, you know, if it would bring closure, you know, for me, it's supposed to be good for the soul. Based on my experience as well, it has been very good for the soul. Sometimes it is painful, but at the end of the day, it is good. It's like a weight lifted off. So I'm using this new glue that I forgot that I had. This is a dual tip. Hey, it's a dual tip. Look at that. It's a dual tip pen. It's by Bazic. Bazic. I've never used it before. I just found it was so cool. It reminded me, I saw people online using Tombow, that pen. So I thought, hey, let me try it and see if it's similar. Although I've never used Tombow, so I don't know how I could compare. But anyway, hey, I'm trying to. I laugh because I was trying my best to cut it, but I had to turn the book to cut it. Anyway. Yeah, so this is a new pen liquid glue that I'm trying, but it's very thick, and I don't know if it got thick because I had it there for a while or if that is the way that it is. But I actually like it because, you know, the tip that it has to squeeze out of is really nice and thin. So I don't know what the other side looks like. I can't remember because I completely forgot it was a dual tip. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, so I decided to back this piece of paper to write on. So I decided to actually write on it. And I'm using the flowers as a pocket, which you saw. And now I'm trying to decide how am I going to flip it. Yep, I'm using it as a pocket. So because I'm using it as a pocket, I didn't want the back of this to be very plain. So I'm just backing it with some coffee stain paper that I found. And that's what I'm going to write on. And all the while I'm still thinking, how am I going to answer my question? My questions. So I found my tear ruler because I couldn't remember how I got those wiggly edges, and then I remembered, oh yes, my tear ruler. So I used that and I continued my tear ruler, my jagged edge vibes happening, and I was happy with that. Now, I decided, instead of using washi tape or something which would cover up and change the aesthetic, the color of the page, I decided to use the same piece that I ripped off, which was super thin. So I kind of catch my skin to fold this in half, but I got it done. And then I was thinking, wow, this is going to be really tiny to stick on. How? Look at that. I was catching my skin to get it to fit on the edge there. So I wanted a little piece off, but I had to cut it off for it to stick properly. And then I decided to, okay, I could, this could work, I could do it. it would hold. So I'm just putting a line of glue and then I'm spreading it and wiping off half of it because the paper is really thin. And I was trying to fold it at first and just slide it into, on both pages, but then I ended up having to just lay it flat and then put the page on top of that half of it. And then I folded it over onto this piece here, which was a lot easier to do. So that happened, and I found the other side looked really neat and nice. I was very pleased. Now I had to come and do this side. And in order to do this side, I had to fold the paper back the other way because that's the way it is going to fold when it's being used. So I put my glue on the page itself. I wiped off half of it, and then I just lay it down. I try to lay it where the center fold is going to be folded, so it'll be much easier to fold. And then I gently closed that in, and I was so happy, yay! And then I messed, yeah. But I got it.
Okay.
So now, to answer my first question, as I was saying before, I am reluctant to confess my faults, but not to God, to people, because, it involves humans as well. I put humans. Because you have a fear. You don't know if you could trust them. You don't know if you're being judged. And honestly, it should not be like that. We should be able to confess one to another freely. But because of different levels of, people's hearts, it makes things difficult. So when confession is necessary, your faults, confessing your one is necessary, it's difficult. So for this second question, I didn't realize that I forgot to press pause again, so I missed half of what I wrote, which is, have you found that when you confess your weaknesses to others, that they're already aware of them? Yes. And for me, it's because people see us differently from a different perspective than we see ourselves. We don't realize, some of our quirks and things that we do because we don't see ourselves. So they would see us from a different perspective. It's like us watching a movie or our children looking at us. And so they would see a lot of things that we do and say that we don't notice for ourselves. And then the third question, is it time to confess? I put a big yes. Yes, it's always time to confess. With God, anyway. To God, you always, yes. I tell my class, my students, anytime you know that you've sinned, when is it time to confess? One time, right away, as soon as. Don't wait. So, but I suppose, I could be wrong. Everybody may have different opinions on this one, but with others, it may be difficult. The timing, but still, don't wait too long. And of course, pray about it before you do. Ask God for direction, for the right timing and the right words, to say it and to help the person's heart to be ready to receive it so that the communication is clear and they receive what you put out, not what they want to hear. You know what I mean? So I'm using these gold hearts because it reminds me of God. God is pure and He's holy, and just that gold color just reminds me of God. It makes me think of God. So I'm putting that on my page as a reminder. Confession is good, and I need to do it all the time to God and with God. And God loves confession. So those hearts just remind me of that. And that's basically it for my page. What else did I do? I decided to put a little border around my page because it felt very open. and I needed to just bring it in. Y'all too, all of it, just you're too open. So I just brought it in. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you think about this confession. You know, as I said, as I always say, you don't have to follow the exact questions that come with the word, but you know, you could write whatever comes to your mind when you know, with when you see this word confess, and just journal about that. You know, probably how it makes you feel, or when you did it, what happened, were you disappointed, were you, you know, yeah, whatever comes to mind, you could write. So, as always, thank you so much for journaling with me. I really hope that you journaled as well. I know this one came a bit late, but life has been extremely hectic for me. So, thank you for your patience as well, and for your support and your encouraging words. You all are very, very awesome. And I really hope that this journaling session has inspired you to get some stuff out. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.